Doing well today. My name's Madison and I like to do mukbang videos and cooking videos, so if that interests you, please go ahead and consider subscribing to my channel. Like the video if you haven't already, because that really does help me. Leave comments as well, that's also super helpful. Today I'm going to go ahead and make the Neurotic Mom Bakes version of Oreo rolls. It's similar to a cinnamon roll, except for it's Oreos on the inside and then like a cream cheese frosting with the Oreo filling mixed in, so it's going to be nice and delicious. I'm so excited to try this. Her recipe is very straightforward, so if that interests you, please go ahead and stick around. Thanks so much. Okay guys, so I just washed my hands after prepping all of these items. Here I have a little cup. This has the yeast, sugar, and salt in it, so I'm going to go ahead and add that here. And I do have her video linked below so that you can get the recipe ingredients, since she is the one who posted this recipe in the first place. Here, in her video, she uses milk and heavy cream. I don't carry milk, I only carry heavy cream. So the internet told me that I could put half and half for the milk part, and then obviously cream for the other part. So this is 1/4 cup of water and 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream to substitute her 1/2 cup of milk and her 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And this is warm, so I'm just gonna go ahead and place that in here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add the melted butter. This isn't hot. It is just room temperature. And then I also have an egg here. And you want all of your ingredients to be like room temp pretty much. So if you're like me and you keep your flour in the refrigerator, this is going to definitely be one of those times where you need to go ahead and take it out before you want to use it. I'm just kind of whisking everything together because this is what she did in her video, but I really don't want to get my whisk dirty, so I'm just forking it. This is also instant yeast. If it was active dry, you would need to let it bloom first. Great. So in hers, she goes ahead and put 1 cup of flour first. And I'm just gonna get a spatula so I can scrape the sides down in a second. In her video, she did say that it usually is 3 cups, but in that video, she had a little bit of a more humid climate. So it actually took like 3 and I think 1/4 cup. It's pretty humid here, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume this is gonna be like 3.5 to 4 cups of flour. I'm just gonna stop the mixer really quick so I can scrape the sides down. This is a nice time to just make sure that everything is pretty incorporated, and that way whenever you're putting the flour in here, everything is even. And the way that I'm measuring my flour in here is with a little cup like this. I fluff it while it's in my little container, and then I just dump it in here like this so it's nice and light. I think on hers she actually dips it, but this is like the This is the way that measuring flour works better for me, personally. I'm gonna go ahead and add that second one. And she does half cups at a time, but for the first two, I'm gonna do it like this because I know that it's gonna take it. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape the sides down again. I can already tell this dough is gonna be very beautiful. I love dough, it's just gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and add another half cup of flour. And at the moment, I just have this on a 2, which I think you can see here. And you can see that it is coming together a bit more than it was just a moment ago as well. I'm going to pause it and see how sticky it is. Okay, so see how it's still gooey in my hands and sticking? And when I roll it, it just keeps rolling and it's sticky. That means I need more flour. So I'm going to go ahead and add another half cup. So this is 3 cups now, which I accidentally put too much in here, so it's going everywhere. Okay, so pretty much 3 cups now. A little bit is on the floor, but that's alright. And it's also behind the mixer, but that's okay, because that's what happens when you're baking. Make sure you stir it whenever you first put it in. Okay, so looking at this now, it does seem to me that this is going to be pretty perfect. So I'm just going to let this run for about 5 minutes, and then we will come back and go ahead and let it proof and everything. Usually it'll go like around the top and then it'll go back in the bowl, which is fine. As you can see, the mixer moves up and down. That's actually the way that the mixer is constructed to make sure that there's movement able to be happening, so this is a good thing. Okay, I'm gonna pause it one more time. Okay, so as you can see, I can touch it and it's not doing anything to my fingers. They're clean, so this is perfect. I'm gonna let this go for 5 minutes and let it knead. I do not want to knead by hand. She kneaded by hand in her video. She's absolutely welcome to do that. I do not think that's necessary, and I do not want to do it. So this is what it looks like in the middle. I'm at about 2 to 3 minutes of kneading. The bowl is completely clean. It is still going around in here. It smells really nice and like the good yeasty bread smell. I can tell that my dough is very, very smooth, which is perfect. So I'm just gonna let this keep going for like 2 more minutes, and then I will take it out and kind of stretch it by hand. I'll show you guys that process as well. Okay guys, so I can tell that we're there the way this is moving in this bowl, which I'll explain in just a second. So the way it was moving in the bowl, it was almost trying to come up the sides. As you can see, it is completely soft and smooth. Let me get this out of the way really quick. Get out of here. Oh, and whenever you use this to knead, the bowl gets stuck. There's some of that flour I was telling you guys about. Okay, so as you can see, it is nice and elastic, very beautiful. It's a little shaggy here, which is fine. I think you can see that. That was my timer for this, but I already noticed that it was good. So right now I am just making a little boule, which is pushing the dough underneath like this. And I'm just kind of finishing out like that. And it would be nice if this were completely flat. If I were making rolls, I would really want this to already be very smooth. However, these are like cinnamon rolls, like they're like a roll, you know, so they're gonna be covered by frosting. The texture doesn't matter as much. Speaking of texture, the reason why we need to knead it is because we want the texture to be nice and light and fluffy, and gluten development is what makes that happen. So I have this dough here. I am going to add a little bit of oil to the same bowl. The same bowl is absolutely fine because it's pretty clean. And I'm using olive oil, but I mean, like, this part doesn't really matter. It just needs to be a neutral oil. Okay. So I have it in here like that. I'm just going to put a little oil on top just to make sure. Because whenever it's rising, I don't want it to get stuck to the sides. Probably about a tablespoon or so of oil in here. And then I'm just going to stick this in the oven with the light on and let this rise. About 40 minutes is what she said, so I'm going to go ahead and check it in 30, see what it's looking at. She said 30 to 40, and then we will bake them. Okay guys, so here I have half a cup of brown sugar, and then I also have 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I actually put a little bit less because I want to try it with a little bit less. I just feel like it'll be better for my taste specifically. And then I have 6 tablespoons of butter here. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is just melted butter, not hot. And I'm going to go ahead and just mix this together first. And then this is the time where the Oreos come into play. Like I said, I got the double stuffed. Wow, I have not seen an Oreo in person in such a long time. These smell so good. What she does is take some of the filling out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it in this same container that the butter came out of. And then I'm going to put the cookies in a blender container. I do not want to use my regular blender, so I'm going to use the... whatchamacallit, it's like a little like bullet blender. And these don't have to be like completely clean. The main thing is just to get some of the filling out. And the reason that she did this was to use some of the filling in the frosting. So I was like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And this is just the Farberware version. My mom got it for me like when I moved to Austin. It works really well for other stuff, so it'll probably be good for this. Usually for anything I mix in here, I just shake it up a little bit in between, and that helps. Okay, so that honestly worked pretty well for what I was needing. I almost broke my little blender, but that is okay. It's still alive, so it's good. So it just looks like black sand pretty much. And I'm just gonna add some of this to this filling. She said it's more of like a texture thing that you're looking for. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. What the heck? And some of my cookies didn't break up in the blender, so I'm just hitting them with a fork. Okay, so as you can see, it's like a thick paste, but it's very, very wet still, and that's exactly what you want, because while we're letting this sit for just a moment, the butter is going to absorb into the cookie. So at this point, like, you really just want to get to the dough as quickly as possible. So when we come back, I will be working on the dough. Okay guys, so the dough is now ready. I'm just gonna take it out of the oven here. And the oven wasn't on, it was just the light that was on. I'm gonna save the plastic wrap that I had on top for whenever they proof the second time. Here is the dough, it smells amazing. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little flour on top just so I can punch it. And that just releases all that gas. Went ahead and put a good amount of flour on my work surface. This dough is gorgeous. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. This is my favorite rolling pin. It's from KitchenAid. It's really heavy. My mom's friend Kathy gave it to me. She was my next door neighbor. It makes rolling out dough ridiculously easy. And my main thing here is that I would like to get this into a rectangle. So I'm going to try to, whoops, not break it in the process. I'm going to try to, this dough is very fragile, but in the best way possible. Need a little bit more flour. And in her video, she said the thinner that you can get it, the better, because then you can put more filling. Like there's gonna be like more surface area for the filling. So that is what I'm trying to achieve. It's a little bit thicker on one side, but that's okay. Just making sure it's not stuck. Okay. Oh man, this is beautiful. Okay. So here I have that filling, and as you can see, it is much thicker than it was because it absorbed. Go on, baby. Get on out of here. Okay, so I am just spreading the filling out everywhere here. And it looks like I did get more surface area because the filling isn't going like as far, it seems. Which is fine because I still have some of the cookies ground up, so I'll just add that. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just add the rest of the cookie mixture. Whoops. And it is in diligence that you can't see it on the camera, but I'm actually missing about 1 inch of the top with filling. Because whenever we roll it, it'll be nice to have that as a little barrier to make sure that everything's not going to come out. Okay, Cool. So let me wash my hands really quick, just so that I can make sure I'm not getting the rolls dirty on the other side. All right, so I'm just dipping my fingers in a little bit of flour, and I'm just gonna start rolling it here. And the way that you roll a cinnamon roll is you're just taking your 2 fingers and kind of pulling and then like pushing it. It's more of like an action that you see rather than like it being explained. It's very hard to explain. Just gonna pick that side up and roll it really quick. Just kind of stretching it. I don't make cinnamon rolls very often, so it's not something that I am expecting to be perfect at, but I have seen it a couple times, so I know some stuff to do. Okay, so there's our little log. She says that she likes to use dental floss. I don't have any that's not mint, but I do not think it's gonna matter as much because these are such a flavorful roll. So she did hers like from here, but I am not that good at eyeing. So I'm gonna start from the middle and do like half. And then she just took it and went like that. I've seen this method before. I've actually just never tried it myself. And then from there, I'm just going to do half again on each side. And then with these, I think I do thirds, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think I do thirds here. Wow, my neighbors are being very loud right now. Apartment life, what are you gonna do? Wow, little cute boys. Look at them. Holy heck. Oh my gosh. They're so cute, guys. Okay. Just moving on to the next area. This is way better than cutting with a knife, because I have made cinnamon rolls before and I did it with a knife because I've seen this, but I was just kind of scared to try it. All you have to do is just make sure that you're pretty much lined up, cross them, and then boom, you're good. Okay, I'm gonna get my pan set up. I'll be right back, guys. So I got my pan set up. I'm gonna go ahead and add these in. They do need a little bit of space around them, so hopefully this pan is a good choice. Just gonna put this guy right there because he's very small. And then I'm gonna continue to cut. Wow, this dough is so gorgeous, I can't get over it. I have that Too Good at Goodbyes song stuck in my head by Sam Smith, which is not the song you want to have stuck in your head because it's sad. Alright, so I just have them here. That should be okay for these little babies. I'll go ahead and put this upward. Just move some that way a little bit. I love these. Look at how gorgeous this one is. There's a little bit missing from like the middle, but that's okay. I'll remember that for next time. Great, so these are now going to rise one more time. I'm gonna put them back in the oven without the oven being on for about 20 minutes because they're actually very, they're very soft. They'll proof really quick. And so I will see you guys in 20 minutes. So here is that beautiful frosting. I added vanilla caviar, so there's little specks in it. But this is the texture that I personally like. I used to frost Cinnabons at Schlotzsky's, and this is gonna be a really awesome frosting. I preheated my oven to 325 as well. And as soon as it's preheated, I'm gonna put the rolls in there. All right, everyone, so 20 minutes seemed to do the trick for these guys, and they're gonna go into a 325-degree oven for, I think she said 15 to 20 minutes. I'll check on that. All right, guys, so we're now gonna make the icing, frosting, whatever. I have 4 ounces of almost room temperature cream cheese and a whisk attachment. And I'm just gonna whip that up a little bit. Preference is to have this completely room temp, but that's okay. And something that I actually learned in culinary school, if you're interested, is to turn a burner on and take this bowl. This is whenever we would make buttercream and we would have it in here and we'd put it in the refrigerator like this. If we needed to re-whip the buttercream, like whenever we were gonna frost something, we would just set it over the flame, which it would be like an actual flame as opposed to like an electric stove, but it works the same. You just got to get the bowl a little bit warm. And we would do this exact same thing. We have this in one hand and just kind of mix it around a little bit. It's going to be a little bit different here because this is cream cheese. It's not buttercream, so it's a little bit thicker. But you can kind of tell when it's like more melty. So that made the bowl warm enough to mess with really quick for the cream cheese. So I just have this on a 6. And I'm gonna go ahead and add the filling that we have from earlier. I put it in the microwave for like 10 seconds. She put both in the microwave, but I didn't really want to do that. Just in case you haven't watched her video for whatever reason. And I'm just gonna stir that together, or like on a 2. I'm gonna put that on a 3. Okay, I'm gonna put that on a 4 and just stir that together a bit. Still trying to warm up that cream cheese a bit. Great, so that is definitely coming together. The flavor of this is gonna be so nice. I completely understand why she used the filling in this. Like, that's pretty genius. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 cup of powdered sugar. And I think she said that she uses 3, but we're just gonna do 1 first so that it'll not go everywhere as it's mixing in. Starting off on stir. And as it moistens, I can turn it up to a 2. So that is smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and add another cup. Oh, it just started raining. So I'm gonna go ahead and add almost a third cup, almost another cup. And she added a little milk to thin hers out. I do think I need to thin it out, but I don't have milk, so I'm gonna add a little bit of heavy cream. And I'm just putting that on 4 to incorporate. And I'm just gonna stir to combine. This is looking like a pretty great texture so far. And I don't have any vanilla extract yet because I'm still making some, but I do have vanilla beans. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some caviar from it. Can't remember how much vanilla extract she added. I think it was a tablespoon or a teaspoon. I think it was a teaspoon. If anybody is ever interested in a video about making vanilla extract, I can definitely do that. Okay guys, so they just came out about 3 or 4 minutes ago. They are so cute. Look at them. They're very adorable. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the icing on. And I like a lot, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna place it on there and then just move it around with an offset spatula. And I just took this out of the pan with the parchment paper. It was very easy to just take right out of there. And I'm trying to put it where you can kind of see the rings on some of them. And then some of them, like this one, are just going to be completely covered. I'm actually just going to grab a little bit out with my offset. An offset makes this so easy. But you're more than welcome to use a butter knife. Or whatever you'd like, whatever works for you. In her video, she put crumbles of them on top. I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to. You're more than welcome to if you'd like. Now let's go ahead and get one on a plate. I wish that Brandon was here, but he is not here yet. Whenever he gets home later, he will definitely be trying one of these. And I'll go ahead and add that to the video as well. If he's feeling up to it. I mean, whenever you get home from work, sometimes you don't want to do that. And honestly, to make sure that it doesn't go everywhere, you should just let it set for a little bit, but... So let's go ahead and get a taste test in. I feel like that is what everyone is kind of waiting for at this point. They're super soft. Wow, that's crazy. It definitely tastes like Oreo. Just this dough by itself is just a regular yeasted dough. Here's the inside. Very chocolatey, but like, yum. I usually don't eat cinnamon rolls with my hands, but I figured why not. I'm just gonna add a little bit of some more frosting to the inside. This is like the best bite too. It's actually not as sweet as you'd think. Like in terms of sweetness, I mean, because of the dough, it's like a 7. Okay, so the inside filling, in my opinion, it tastes kind of like a brownie. So you kind of lose like that Oreo taste because of the brown sugar, like, and the cocoa powder, in my opinion. It's really delicious though. But you kind of, like, if you didn't know there was Oreo in there, I'm not sure that you'd know that there was Oreo in there, you know what I mean? Anyways, well, I really appreciate you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. Go ahead and click it. Click the like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've made this, if you plan to make it, or if you think that it looks weird. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.